afternoon. I'm Raleigh Brown. This is another curve flattening concert. I'm here with Charlie the dog, who is fast asleep right there. I could probably get the camera on him, but we won't right now. Maybe later. He looks so cute. But I do have his picture here for you, so I could share his picture before I start saying hello to people. And this is an unusual picture because we have Tito in it too. So you can see here in the lower left corner is Charlie. In the upper right corner you can see Tito's cute little head. That's Michael, my next door neighbor, holding Tito. Tito wasn't on his leash, so Michael was holding him because that area isn't fenced. And Charlie's all excited about Tito. Michael did put him down and they went to nose for a while, but I couldn't get a good picture of him, so there you have it. So there's Charlie the dog for this morning, or this afternoon, and beautiful autumn day here today, really lovely. And I see that Charlie Bryant was the first man in on Facebook. Keith Shaw was a little ahead of the game on YouTube, but that's cheating because you can put the comment in before we start. So I see Charlie Bryant and Charlie Bryant and Charlie Bryant. Rhonda Scott Merrick and Keith Shaw on Facebook. Mike Schnabel, who was down for a lesson last week and got to meet Charlie the dog in person and see the deluxe studios here. Audrey Bernheimer is here, and Dave Mason over in Scotland, David Arthur Radcliffe in the UK, Kathy Marzik up there in upstate New York, and Deb Libby Clark in Ambler, PA. Deb, I was wondering about your appointment today, how that went. And or if it went, I hope so. And like that. And we can cloink. I have the cloinkophonic mug. I see that Hopeful Jen is here and Carol Pred. And here's to you guys clinking with the Ann Mintz cloinkophonic mug. Clinking with some high test decaf today. And Connie Adams is here on YouTube. And we have enough people to get started here. So it's an interesting day today. It turned into a guitar day. Well, every day is a guitar day for me. But today I have a song about the 34 Gibson, which is on my lap. And I have a song about the Prue RBL00, which is sitting there for right now, but it will get used on that song. And of course, Mario Prue is invisible on this site, but if he shows up, because he might see his name on my teaser, if he shows up, let you guys tell me, and I'll be able to say hello to him. So first off, this song is written by my old friend Jeff Bartley, who lives up in the Boston area. I know a man, he never says a word. He strums his old Gibson and sings like a bird. The dreams in his head are almost gone. The times keep changing as the years wear on, and it don't take much to wag my tail. Give me hard-boiled eggs, a little beer in a pail. You gotta work pretty hard to drive me away, but one kind word and I will stay. Driving in my car, I travel all around. Get up on a stage here in your town. I used to chase all the women, and I guess I still do. But love is best when it's tender and true, and it don't take much to wag my tail. Give me hard-boiled eggs, little beer in a pail. You gotta work pretty hard to drive me away, one kind word, and I will stay. Up all night and I sleep all day. People ask me how I live this way. Well, I don't call it living, I call it just getting by. If I had the ambition, I'd be a hell of a guy. And I'm about half crazy. At the end of my chain, nobody knows how I stand the strain. If you treat me hard, well, I might turn mean. I'm at my best when times are lean, and it don't take much to wag my tail. Give me hard-boiled eggs, a little beer in a pail. You gotta work pretty hard to drive me away. But one kind word, and I will stay. One Kind Word by my old buddy Jeff Bartley. And I see many more people have stopped by. Sharon March is here, and Charlotte Cantrell, S.A. Tudhope, and Dave Van Allen. I said hi to Kathy. Bunny Barnes is here. Bunny, I couldn't figure out whether you're doing a stream this week, so let us know. And I said hi to Kathy Marsick and Deb Leby Clark, and I got the rest of you, I think. Good. So we will keep moving forward, and Janice Kerman-Hannon is here with us. So next up is the song about this old guitar. Now, this old guitar, you know, people see this guitar, and they a lot of times people would come up to me and they'd say, well, so what's the story behind that guitar? You know, there must be a story. It looks like it has a story. And I am all about stories. I like stories. So I thought I'd make up a story for this guitar since it doesn't really have a story, but this might be true. I don't know. And Bunny says she is not doing a stream this week. I'm sorry that you're having a tooth extracted. And I gather you had a great time at Tommy Camp. So this is the song for, now I have learned in the meantime, after consulting some experts, that this is probably a 1933 Gibson. And that's a big deal, apparently, because '33 Gibsons had a solid lining on the inside where the back meets the and face meet the sides, and 34s had a slotted lining. And the 33s are supposed to sound much better. And this one sounds really good. So, don't you agree? Now that young boy must have worked mighty hard, he earned $37 for a new guitar. And when he bought her, she looked pretty plain, just cheap white paint for the Gibson name. Well, he played on the streets for quite a while, till he got called up by the Army Corps. And dodging the draft was not his style, so him and that Gibson went to war. She could tell some tales if she could speak of where she's been and what she's seen. She can make these walls and windows shake. She don't speak, but she sure can sing. He came back from the war alive, but he traded her in on a J45. And then a tough young woman had her for a while. She played the blues in the Memphis style. Now she was living a juke joint life. She became a country singer's wife. And he strummed that Gibson without much grace. He strummed the finish right off her face. Well, in 1960 she got sold. By then she was looking pretty old, and a folk singer had her by his side when he went down on the Freedom Ride. Now that was hard traveling, I declare. He was lucky not to get murdered there. Way down south on a something or other night, her back got stove in a fight. She could tell some tales if she could speak, where she's been and what she's seen. She can make these walls and windows shake. She don't speak, she sure can sing. Well, I found her in a pawn shop, priced to sell. They weren't asking much, she looked like hell. Well, I tuned her up, strummed a chord, and all I could say was, oh my Lord. 'Cause now she sounds like a wise old sage. Some things only come with age, and most of those people are dead and gone. But this old Gibson still lives on. She could tell some tales if she could speak, of where she's been and what she's seen. And she can make these walls and windows shake. She don't speak, she sure can sing. So that is the 34 Gibson, my story of my guitar, one of my favorite guitars. And another of my favorite guitars is right here, and I want to show you this because basically when Mario built this guitar for me, we decided it should basically look like a Gibson L00. So if I take this one off and I hold these two guitars up for you, you can see they're the same size, they are the same shape, they have the same shape pickguard. The difference is in the scale length, so you can see that the distance from the bridge to the sound hole on the Gibson is a little larger, and that means that the lower bout of the guitar below the bridge is a little smaller, and the lower bout on this one is a little bit bigger. But anyhow, you could see they're kind of like twins, except one of them is like 93 years old, this one, and the other one is just about 15 years old now, or maybe 13. I think it was built in 2012. Anyhow, so that's our that's the guitar section of the announcements for today, and I'll go through the rest of these sections. So there are invisibles here. They may include Mario Pru, who built this guitar, or they may not. They may include George Young of Winter Garden, Florida, and Judith Fox of Reston, Virginia, and Joel Biget from France, and maybe some people I don't know about. And then, as usual, there is a PayPal link right there and a Venmo link if you'd like to contribute to the Charlie the Dog Veterinary Instructional Dog Treat Dog Toy Fund and all the other things that a dog daddy has to give his dog. And we always appreciate that, although it's never expected or required. And let me see. Carol Pred said, George is here. Hi, George. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I know we've all gone through some hard times, and I know you are not immune to that. So hang in there. Hang in there. I'm thinking about writing a song about the fact that hang in there has become my most used phrase in this day and age. I see Steve Salmon is here. Stephen Salmon, thank you for those kind words, Stephen. And Laura Jackson Selden, the Gibson girl, is here touting her favorite guitar. And let me see if I'm missing anybody else. There's a whole bunch of stuff, whole long conversations between Buddy and Mike Schnabel about tooth extraction, and there's always interesting stuff on the chat here. I always enjoy reading it afterwards. And if you ever leave me a message or ask a question, do check back later, because I do read all of these and I will respond to stuff. Keith Shaw says Prozac Fund. Yes, there's that. So Carol Pratt says my most used phrase is not as clean as yours. Well, I have some of those as well. So anyhow, Invisibles, guitar, PayPal. So gig-wise, I totally forgot on Sunday to mention that in November here in the Philly area, I'll be at Ann Mintz's house for my own solo house concert. And that will be November 8th in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia. You can write Ann Mintz, that's ANNMINTZ, at mindspring.com and make a reservation for that if you're interested, if you're in the area. And if you're not in the area, well, check on the airline reservations. I hear everything's going very smoothly at the airports right now. But who knows? Maybe the shutdown will be over by November 8th. It's coming right up. So, but I digress. So I'll be at Ann's house on November 8th, and then Bunny and Kurt Lippy and I will be playing the Sellersville Theater again in January. So that's not even this year, but we're excited about it, so I'll mention it right now. Gig-wise online, I'm With You Now. I assume Helen Avakian and David Irwin will be on tomorrow night at Helen's page, which is Avakian, Helen Avakian. And that's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. On Friday, Slim Edelman will be doing his show at 3 p.m., and that's a blues show this week. And Bunny will be getting her tooth extracted. Now, she could do a live stream and actually show you her getting her tooth extracted, but I suspect she's not going to do that. And then Saturday It appears that Warren has a gig from 5 till 8, so he probably won't be doing a 3 o'clock show. And Sunday, I will be back for my 10:30 usual show. How does that all sound? So I think I've covered everything I was supposed to cover. So the instrumental for today is a medley of a Les McCann tune called Bojay-Poo-Boo, and a tune called, which I call The Snowman. It's also called Walking in the Air, I think. And here we go. Bojay-Poo-Boo and The Snowman. I see Kitseri Kaku has shown up. She's just waking up in the morning, I suppose, because she's over there on Oahu. And I see my good buddy Margot Lemieux is here, and Am I missing anybody else? I think I said hi to most of you. Kit, Deb. I think we're doing good here. So one more song. And Chris Layden. Hi, Chris. I hope you're doing well out there. Chris is out in Colorado. And Denny Oliver, did I say hi to you? I guess I didn't because you're just getting on. Charlie Bryant says, I'm still 15 on the internet. Charlie, it's showing right through to the surface, too. I must admit. As is true for all of us guitar players, we maintain our juvenile attitudes and behaviors. So I wrote this song for my buddy Mario Prue, and he is up there, and Ginger Hopper's here. Hi, Ginger. He is up there in Iroquois Falls, Ontario, on Big Nelly Lake. Gets pretty cold up there, and I was thinking about Mario, and I've never been up there, but I've I know Mario pretty well, and I figured what his workshop would probably be like, and I know what he's like. So he's a good guy, a good man. So it's a cold day in North Ontario, and the snowplows are falling way behind. But in the warm workshop the wood stove glows, and George Jones sings the foibles of mankind. There's a fluffy dog who's flapped out on a chair, and an old guitar sits on a tabletop. The smell of pine and spruce is in the air. The bandsaw hums in Mario's workshop. Make a wish upon a star. He may build a new guitar. Hands and heart, time and grace, magic happens in this place. Exotic woods have been set apart, and the sun shines on them in the afternoon. Each set may soon become a work of art, like a butterfly comes out of a cocoon. Now there's sawdust lying on the workshop floor, and the side is bent into a graceful curve. The braces are a part you can't ignore. The careful chisel needs a steady nerve. Make a wish upon a star. There may be a new guitar. Hands and heart, time and grace, magic happens in this place. Rosewood, spruce, and ebony, they produce a symphony. Hands and heart, time and grace, magic happens in this place. A new guitar on the tabletop, another day in Mario's workshop. Mario's Workshop, and I saw the Gibson girl asked a question about the how does the 24-inch scale affect the feel playability for you? On this guitar, it makes it much easier to play, and one of the reasons I'm using it a lot, I mean, if I had to choose, my two favorite guitars are this one and my Pre-War Guitars Company guitar. And with the Gibson and the Martin OM18 Authentic coming in a close third and fourth. But right now, when I'm dealing with these trigger finger things, I lean more on this guitar because it's easier to play. The reaches aren't as big. I actually have 11s on it, and I have 11s on the Pre-War right now too. Doesn't seem to hurt the tone. Still has a big sound, it's much more playable. It is. And we discovered something when we made the first prototype, which now belongs to Terry St. James up in Montreal. We found that it was harder to bend notes. And we talked to our friend Bill Nutt, who was a physicist, and he said it's harder because the shorter the string it is, the harder it is to push it off of its center. But he also pointed out that it wasn't just from here to here; it was all the way to the pegs. So what we did was we lengthened this place by about a 1/4 inch on this guitar, and it ended up solving that problem for me. For a lot of people, it wouldn't be a deal, but for me, I bend a lot of notes, so I need something that bends fairly easily. Anyhow, that's your little lesson in guitar physics for today. And I will check to see if anybody checked in at the last minute. I do not think so. And so I wish you all well. I will sing you a little flat-picked mantra, since it's been mostly a flat-pick day today, you may have noticed. Only the instrumental was fingerstyle. Maybe I'll play in out of the G position, which will make it more of a bluegrassy kind of thing. Another thing about the scale length is a shorter scale. You have to pay attention to the intonation more. Oh, be happy and be healthy, be brave and be calm, be kind, it's a snap, and if you get cranky, take a nap. Have a great first part of the week, or last part of the week, I'm sorry, and I will try to see you on Sunday. And in the meantime, there are a few people to listen to, and go listen to them. And keep the faith. October 18th, No King's Day. Find a march near you. Just saying.